else, and it gets real deep, and it's like, I got you. And I think he even said at one point in time, I got you, don't worry about da da da. And then it was so, even when, and I hate to jump ahead, even when she was chosen, the part that about Ness, and the part, if you gonna choose her, it was almost like, well, if I put her in with this person, they probably gonna pull them out. It's like, okay, I'm putting you in, but I got a fail safe for you. Somebody I know that's in there with you gonna pull you out, so you good. I'm putting you in because maybe you look good with the veterans. They don't like you. Let's be clear. I've always felt like Amber has not been with the vets. She was a rookie and she won. I've always felt like, for some reason, Amber and the rookies do not. I mean, sorry, Amber and the vets have never been like eye to eye. She's always been cool with the newbies coming in. I've always said, is it because they can't take her because she was a rookie and she won? If that's the case, that's a problem for me. Because I would like to know the real tea. Why is it that Amber gets so much hate? What is the tea with that? That's something that I'm very curious about, because especially after last night, I knew she didn't have a lot of friends. Let's be clear. It's always been that. It's always given that. But because even John Bananas was like, Amber, what did y'all do to get on the board? Everybody's like, yeah, what? That's messed up. Go ahead, Angela.
I would like to know that as well because my memory isn't the best, but I don't remember Amber doing anything to anyone to really get the position in this game that she has. Like, yes, she won her first season, and it seems like she was supposed to be in the Big Brother alliance, but she just could never get in with Fessy and KC the way she thought she could get in. And they always would use her as a number, and then immediately when the numbers are thin, they throw Amber under the bus. So I don't really know what Amber did wrong and why people don't like her, but I would like to know if she did something shady or something to deserve to every season people hate on her. And even NURYS, like, I really like NURYS, but I didn't understand why she thought Amber was shady and she couldn't see how shady Devin and Tori were being. Like, they're playing everybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. Get your position in the game how you get it. But I just didn't like how they manipulated them, and they manipulated them to the point where Amber became the vote. Like, Bananas and Nani should have always stayed the vote. I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about the Nelson situation. Okay, first of all, before we get to that part, let's talk about how that challenge was. And I will agree. Because somebody wants to talk about TJ from jump, from when TJ um announced it, and he said it was like boom. I saw the sprint because Nelson wanted it so bad. This whole season, I feel like he wants it so bad. Even NURYS is like, I want it for him. So when he took off and sprinted, I was like, I don't know why I feel like he's gonna get this. He's gonna get it. Da 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 da. And as they were playing, they was in sync. How he was cheering her on. I was loving it because I'm telling you, I ran track and played basketball this sports when I was younger. And when you're in that type of environment, as far as physical like that, it's so hard because that looked like a very very tiring challenge. All the challenges from that day look very very exhausting. So that challenge to me, the way Nelson was cheering, oh let's go, let's go, let's go, and the way she was just right there because she was on it. I was like, oh my god. I said, bro, she is like on it. I was like, you can't touch her. She's sprinting, you can't touch her. She was right there with them, Megan. And as I know, when they say it, it might sound like funny when they say, well, she's running at the same as Nelson. I can remember doing track and running with guys, if they were out there practicing and we were just fooling around. A man's stamina running however many miles it is, it's insane the way their body moves. So the woman is actually running at the same speed. I don't care what anybody say. I'm not saying we can't do things better than men or just whatever. That takes a lot. So when they said it, I was like, yes, that was hard what she was doing. So that I want to say for both of them, that whole challenge, the way they worked together, it was everything. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching them. I know that Devin was right behind them. So let's go to Devin. So the whole episode kind of was geared like Devin manipulated the two of them, okay, and manipulated everything, listening to people, whatever. Look, Tori really, that's not her bag. That's not her bag. That's more Devin's bag. But my thing is, how can you get upset or mad because someone is playing the game? Now, I mean, I'm not saying that you're gonna be like, oh, favorable. As I stated with Wes, Wes had more enemies and won more. Unpopular. It's not gonna be. Look at NURYS is here. It's not gonna be where it's the popular vote. So to me, Wes, the way he played the game, the way Devin played the game, it's just everything. Welcome, Queen is in the building. She's in the building.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna make you my co-host today, Mama. Hold on, I'm making my co-host
Oh,
today.
let's do it.
Yes, yes, girl. Let me tell you something. First of all, I have got to give it where it's given. I even told you last night. I was like about to cry watching you guys. I say I was just talking about you just now. I said I ran track and I did all this kind of stuff. And I said running at the same speed as the man that's built like that is like if you don't run track, you don't get it. It's crazy. And I was just talking about you. I was like, it was everything the way you did that, Mama. I had to give it to you. That was
Thank you. It was crazy because first off, I don't run. I don't do cardio. I don't at all. I have great endurance. I will say that. But and I used to smoke a lot. I literally quit smoking cold turkey to go on the challenge. So it was really crazy to me to actually get there and see, you know, that I can actually push myself past my limits and just do the damn thing. I was super proud.
yes. So you doing that challenge and everything? Did you know you guys had it? Like sometimes you like I know we got this. Did y'all feel y'all had it? Well, you.
Honestly, I felt like I had it from the moment that we started. So everybody, so when we first, like when TJ tells you to go, I started honestly, I followed Nani's speed at first because I was like, okay, she's done this multiple times and let me see what her speed is and trying to go about her pace. And then like maybe 30 seconds to a minute in, I realized that it was like, no offense to her at all, but like a little too slow for me. So I was like, okay, I'm a little faster than I thought. So I pushed myself. We were the first ones to get to the puzzle. And then once I realized what the puzzle was, I was like, oh, this is easy. Like I have photographic memory. This is not going to be a thing. So once and honestly, they make it seem like Devin and Tori were close, but they actually weren't. I believe Nelson and I lapped everybody by at least 2 laps. When it came down to it at the end, after we won, we looked at everybody's puzzle and no one was even slightly close at the point. So it was pretty cool to see. It was yeah. And mind you, me and Nelson decided, so like they make you decide who's gonna be balancing and who's gonna be looking at the puzzle like beforehand. And originally, I was gonna balance, Nelson was gonna memorize, and then literally last second, they're like, "NURYS, Nelson, what are you doing?" Nelson's like, "I'm balancing." I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, I have better balance than you." I said, "Okay, fine." So, I guess that was a blessing in disguise to switch it up last second. Yep.
Okay, so now I'm here. I'll send you a DM. So with that being said, when I saw you running and I saw how you, because it did look like Devin was right behind you guys. It did seem that way, but with the whole thing, with there we go, that you could app you and everything. So with the whole people with like with Devin and how everybody was seeming so shady, because pretty much she spoke on that earlier, how Amber was saying that Devin was being shady. Now what I said was Devin was playing the game. And if he did something you guys did not catch on until the third or fourth challenge, he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. Because West
Very
played,
true.
in my opinion, West played that way. I respect what's this game I always have? And I told Devin in my podcast, I said, your brain, y'all play, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. No one is paying attention and you move like that. So I want to get your opinion on that because that was the whole episode. They was just talking about him.
Yeah, it was just funny to me because I didn't obviously watching the episode and now seeing that I guess everybody kind of thought that. It's really interesting because I didn't think that people were thinking that. Like I said, which is why I was shocked when Amber had, she had mentioned it to me multiple times, which is why I had told Nelson that. And I was telling Nelson that in confidence because he was my partner, not thinking he was going to run back and tell Devin. So I just was telling Nelson that because as Devin being one of our numbers, one of our alliances at the time, it was my point to tell Nelson to be like, hey, they're catching on. You know what I mean? Like, tell him to, I don't know what we got to do, but we got to make sure that people don't know, which is why that was my intention. It was never like to, I guess, to be messy. I mean, it came off however it came off, but I genuinely didn't know that everybody was like catching on to his shit. So, yeah, I was shocked to see that. But for 100%, I think he was doing a great job. Like, he had everybody on his side, and people didn't know up until it was, I guess, too late. So I guess great gameplay from him.
Hey, Mama, how you doing, Miss Sheena? Happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Kamisha. Hi, Kiss My Cheeks. NURYS! I am so glad that you are here because I want you to know I am officially a NURYS stan. You killed that fucking challenge. I am such a huge fan of yours. I love you. And what Tori said in the episode, I 1000% agree. People need to be afraid of you because you are cooking. Cooking!
Thank you. I honestly watching that and seeing her out of all people who I truly believe is like an amazing competitor, an amazing female competitor. I was honored. I was like, wow, okay.
No, you are cooking and you should I actually did see some spoilers, so I do know what happened in the end, but whatever happens, I really hope that the next challenge you're there because you're destined for greatness and you're going to be one of the all-time vets. Now, this is my
Yeah.
question that I have two questions for you. My first question is, so I feel like based on the editing, we didn't really get a clear picture of why you did not trust Amber. So I wanted to ask you what all went into that. And then I saw one of your tweets. I liked it where you were talking about, it's hard to be paired with a vet because the people that you as a rookie want to go after are the people that Nelson has relationships and friendships with that he doesn't want to touch.
Yeah.
And so I feel you on that because if I was you, I'm going for the jugular. Nani and Johnny, you're fucking going in.
Oh yeah,
So
100%. So the tea on that, which I also am going to go live because I do think that it's important for everyone to know that that was not my decision and not even necessarily Nelson's decision. The editing is so crazy because they just whatever storyline they want to go with is what they're gonna choose. But in all reality, in our first interview before we won that challenge, they asked who did you want, who's your main target. I said Bananas and Nani. Like, just when you see me saying, oh yeah, like you know I was like, oh, I want to do some things, but I know Nelson is connected to a lot of people. Like, the next thing was I want to get Nani and Bananas out, and it had nothing to do with Nani, but Bananas. I was like, he's already won so many times. I don't care to help him have him here to even get another win, to even slightly get another win. Um, so that was always my number one target. Every interview that they asked me, I stated that wholeheartedly every time. Um, Also, when we did win and we were deliberating and just even talking throughout the house, Nelson and I had a million talks, not only with Devin, not only with like other people in our alliances, but that was always our decision. Our decision was always to put down Nani and Bananas as the main vote, which then, like we told Darrell and Veronica, because I didn't become close to Veronica at all, but I became really close to Darrell. So I had specifically wanted, basically, we knew that Jordan and Anissa they would have saved Chauncey and Amber because Jordan and Anissa at that point were aligned with Amber and Chauncey. We also knew that Darrell and Veronica were going to save them, so we never wanted Amber and Chauncey to go in. Like, that was never the intention at the beginning, right? And so essentially, we best case scenario, I wanted it to be Nani and Bananas and Jordan and Anissa, and then we were gonna get either one big team out because regardless whether it's Bananas or Jordan,
Exactly.
there was gonna be one big team out, and that was always what we wanted to do. Um, so what happened was even production didn't even know. Nobody knew that whole putting Amber and Chauncey in. If you guys go back and rewatch the episode, you guys can tell, if you guys know me, you can tell by my face that the whole time I was pissed at Nelson, and I was in a yeah, there's no smiles from me. I was angry. I wasn't able to enjoy that because 2 seconds before we walk in to the elimination stage, Nelson tells me, "Hey, I really don't think I can say Nani's name." I guess she cried to him. I'm not exactly sure. I may be misquoting him, but I guess she cried to him and kept telling him like, "Oh, you're my brother. I never thought you would do this to me." And obviously, he let his emotions get in the way, and literally, he's begging me like, "Please." And I'm telling him no, to the point where I cried because I literally like cried to Nelson and production and the rest of my close friends that were next to me at the time were like, "What's wrong?" Because I was like, "Damn, I didn't want to screw over Amber at any point." And also, I was close to Chauncey too. Like I was closer to Chauncey than I was to Amber, so I never wanted to do that either. So me and Nelson discussed that. He was like, "Well, I don't want to say Nani's name." And we had already made a deal with Jordan, so that wasn't about to happen either. So we were just in this hard place literally about 2 minutes before walking in. And the only thing that crossed our minds was, okay, I'll go up there and I'm going to say Nani Bananas. And he says, okay, I'm going to say Amber and Chauncey. And then we're going to end up like Zach and Amanda from that other season when they couldn't make up their minds and then they go into elimination. So at that point, I was like, okay, the best decision for myself is not to go up there and sit there and argue with someone who I can't get him to go, sway the same way as me, and then I get thrown into elimination. So I said, okay, fuck it. I guess what we're just gonna say Amber and Chauncey's name, hoping and praying that Bananas and Nani get thrown in there, and that's just not how that happened. So
Do
Damn,
you think he
that,
realizes now that he totally got emotionally manipulated and played?
100%. But also, like the way that they're making it seem as if this was Devin's idea that wasn't it at all. Like that's why I'm so it's insane the power of editing because that wasn't Devin's idea. Like I said, that whole thing came about 2 minutes before we walked onto the stage. Like
I'm happy.
before we have to take a bus. We have to take a bus to get to the elimination stage. When we did that, when we were on the bus, we were still saying Bananas and Nani. We got off the bus, and that's when he was like, "I don't think I can do it." Which is like production literally was telling us like they didn't even know. They're like, where did you guys make the decision? When did you guys make the decision? We have no footage of you and Nelson talking about throwing in Amber and Chauncey. I said, yeah, because that was never our decision, which obviously they can't show that. They can't show me and Nelson saying we wanted to throw Amber and Chauncey in because they have no footage of it. Um, so that's it just ended up happening that way, which I literally regret still to this day. I wish I would have stood my ground better, a little better, and just argued with him more because I truly think he would have listened to me. But it was about 2 minutes before going in there, and it was like I said, I did not want to end up like Zach and Amanda into elimination, then getting sent home off a win that you just had.
You're trying to survive, and I can understand that. But I'm happy that you said that because that's the whole thing. That's the whole narrative. That's the whole tea that Devin, did whatever. I'm not saying that he did not have conversations, but I never just thought that he 100% manipulated you or whatever. You know what I'm saying, to make the decision. So I'm really happy that you said that. But with that being said, Devin did make moves, as you stated as well. So you guys made moves also. You guys are in this position where you are with a vet who's connected to so many people in the house, and you will have your own decisions too, but you got to also survive. So I think you did what you had to do, mama. I really did. You won. You made some decisions. As far as going forward with as far as giant bananas, um I don't know. For you, do you feel like there could be something to be trust with that, as far as you, even though you're not a vet, because you're becoming a champion, you're a champion, you know what you got to do. But as far as you wanted Johnny to go in, so I know you can't tell us in sports or anything, but is that the move so you guys can get closer, or not really closer, but like alliance where they won't put you in if they win the next one or whatever?
I mean, to be honest, I've been seeing a lot of like I don't even say I won't say a lot of vets, but I did see him specifically say that they were throwing challenges, which I think is hilarious because I don't think that's true at all. I truly believe that everybody was giving that shit their all in multiple different challenges. They just weren't coming out on top. Um, for me, in my opinion, I like Bananas as a person. Like, I genuinely was shocked that who he actually is. Like, you go in there, you kind of have like this. I was like, I didn't like him going in there. Got to know him, great guy. But in the game, do I want him out? Hell the fuck yeah. Like I said, I have been watching the challenge since what, 2010. I like when there's new winners. I hate when the same people win. I hate when the same people make it to the finals. And I wanted to, like I've said in the episode, like I wanted to shake shit up. Like I wanted it to be different. Even if it's not me in the final, like anyone but someone who's already won 7 times. And then there was a one point where he kind of told us how much money he's made overall, or how many wins and everything. And in my head I said, okay, even more of a reason to get you the fuck out of here. You don't need this. Like, you don't need this. There's other people here who need the money, who need the challenge champ title, who, like, you know what I mean, who deserve it more, I would say, too. So for me, I was just like, yeah, I liked him as a person, but I didn't care to have him in the game.
Oops, Angela. Kiss my cheeks.
I don't think she's. Oh yeah, she's there.
Yes, you did put her hands up. Okay. Well, I'll wait for her to come back. Go ahead, Sheena.
I just wanted to follow up on my other question. So I felt like we also didn't see why you didn't trust Amber. So can you say
Oh yeah,
more
yeah.
about that?
Right, you asked me that.
Oh, no worries.
So once again, the power of editing. But so I guess I can't really. I guess you guys also have to understand that we do our interviews about a week or so after these things happen. And there were other instances. Like I said, do I, even still to this day, do I like Amber? Yes. Is she my cup of tea? No, and that's okay. um so for me, it was trying to figure out, like I said, when you only talk to someone maybe a handful of times, and, like, we were aligned for sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you trust them, if that makes sense. Because I haven't gotten to know you like that. I haven't had real conversations with you. I haven't barely talked gameplay, other than the first time we talked gameplay. So it was very hard, like I said, for me to believe. I mean, I wish they could show other things. There's only so much they can show, but there was a lot of people that I didn't trust, and that's just from myself, from being skeptical. I'm a rookie. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, who really has my back? Who really, if things were to switch up and I'm no longer tied to Nelson, who is truly gonna have my back? And at that point, there was the only people who I truly believed were gonna have my back individually, were Mariah and Olivia. So yes, I didn't think I trusted her because we weren't friends like that, and we were only aligned because she liked Nelson. So it's very hard for me to say, yeah, I trust her. You know what I mean? No, it's easier for me to say I don't trust her because I don't. Trust is built, and there was nothing was done yet at that point in the house to become friends like that. But of course, like I said, the power of editing, they're gonna show just me saying, like, oh, I don't trust her, and make it seem like it's something bigger, when that was just the point. Was we hadn't built trust. Trust is built and earned. It's not just given.
100%.
No, I feel you on that. That makes sense. Thank you.
Because literally, and literally, no hate. And I mean, Amber can say it. I said it in my interviews multiple times. I think it's dope as fuck. Gave her credit probably one of the first days we got into the house. Gave her credit instantly. I told her that she to me is literally someone that I inspired to, like, she got me excited to be on the show because she showed me that you could be small and a rookie and win that shit. And I always gave her credit to it, and I always will, because I think it's dope as shit. Me going on there, people always underestimated me. They think that because I'm just small and pretty, that I can't compete. And she showed me that, yeah, fuck all that shit. You can definitely do it. So I will always give credit where credit's due. And I think, her winning her rookie season was fucking amazing. And yeah, like I said, she put on for us smaller girls. And like I said, I've said it to her in the house, and I'll always say it.
I think Kiss My Cheeks is back. You back, Mama?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry. My phone was ringing. Um, I have two questions. First, I want to give you a shout out. Um, I said you did the damn thing this episode, keeping up with Nelson. I thought that win was amazing. And when you got on the space and said you lapped everybody twice and it was the editing, that makes it even more amazing. So shout out to you and Nelson for that win. Sheena really asked everything I was gonna ask. So I have two more questions if you can answer them. First, I'm confused with this Nani thing because I thought Nani and Leroy were the closest. Like, my challenge memory is not the best, but I just don't recall Nani and Nelson having that kind of a connection where he would want her save her or even go to drawing straws, with TJ over Nani. Like, I don't know.
Good question. That's a good question because that's actually true. Those two were close. That's a good question.
Right. I don't see it. And then my second part, did it ever come up to get revenge on Fessy? Like, why not put Fessy's name on the board? Because he did do that hall brawl thing with Nelson a few seasons ago. Those are my two questions.
Okay, so the first one, so before the season even started, Nelson had always told me like him and Nani, his relationship with Nani was the closest he had with any female that was there, I'd say. Even I said maybe aside from possibly Amanda. He said that they were really close in and outside of the game. They're friends who actually genuinely talk. They've hung out. They always said they're gonna have each other's backs. He does, like, to me, before, like I said, before even going on the season, he said, that's literally like my sister. So when she cried to him saying, "You're my brother," I completely understood. I guess, I don't know what necessarily happened, but I guess maybe the season before, um, Nani had the opportunity to, I think when they made it to the final, to say Nelson's name and have him thrown into elimination. And she promised him that she wouldn't, and she kept her promise. And so that's the reason why he didn't end up going into elimination, I think, in that final. I'm not sure if it was that season or which season it was. So he felt like, I believe he felt like he owed her one. Um, yeah, that's I guess something that happened, and they had a whole conversation about that. And because she made that move to save him, it's what got him further ahead in the game. So he felt like he owed her one. Once again, had nothing to do with me. But that's what he's saying, and he was super distraught, which is why I was saying, like, I know that you're, when we were at the bar, I was like, I know this sucks because you won and you have to say people's names. And he was just super hurt about Nani. Like, he felt so bad saying her name, and also felt so bad for saying Amber's name. Um, and then what was the second question? Oh, Fessy. Yeah, no, Fessy was never. Fessy and Nelson been made up. They, as soon as they finished that season where they went into the hall brawl, which Nelson was pissed about, they instantly made up. They instantly became their actual real friends outside. Like, I say, some people are friends outside of the game. No, they're actual real friends. Like, they're actual people who genuinely talk on the phone consistently. They actually know what's going on in each other's lives. Like, they're actual real friends. They put the bullshit aside, and so for them, it was, even for me being on Nelson's side, it was so annoying to constantly hear, like, be in the house, like, Fessy this. And I'm like, do you guys not know that people can make up and, like, forgive each other? And I knew for a fact from myself, because I didn't trust Fessy at the beginning either. And Fessy could say that. I literally would go up to him so many times and have, like, my own one-on-one conversations with him, telling him, like, hey, I need to be able to believe that you're not going to throw him in, because if not, I'm not going to. Nelson can say he's going to save you. I'm not going to save you. And he proved to me time and time again that Nelson was someone that he truly had his back. So yeah, Fessy was never someone who was even going to cross our minds to ever say, because once he proved it to me, I understood that they actually were real friends. They were roommates in the house. They only spent time with each other, really. Fessy didn't talk to nobody else in the house. Nelson barely talked to anybody else in the house. They were the ones always hanging out. They were the ones always working out together. Like, they actually have a real friendship in and outside the game. So yeah, it just sucks because they don't show our friendships. They don't show really too much, obviously, because we only have an hour and a half to show, but they were real friends in that game, 100%.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay. So, Mama, you doing what you doing, being you are, I guess, even though it's like I told Devin, the rookies are like coming in like champion because everybody at one point in time was, um, a rookie, whatever. But you are earning your stripes. How do you feel because you are moving like a champion, even in the game? This was a tough decision, even though I know you said you couldn't really jump in and give, what you really. I mean, you couldn't really push as hard because you had short time. The people don't know about that as well. I'm happy you said that, but you still like did some boss shit that day. So I just want to get your feelings on that.
Wait, sorry. Repeat that one more time. I guess I'm trying to understand the
Like,
question. Sorry.
because the thing of it is, okay, like you really could. I don't want you to feel like you fell short because you could not make a move like you wanted to really get
Oh, okay.
bananas or whatever. You still made some boss ass moves, with the win and everything else, and you're moving like a champ. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all kind of categorize rookie, but you're moving like a champ. I just kind of want to get your take on it because when you actually are a lesbian champ, it's gonna be insane. So I just want to get your feelings on that. I'm sorry if I didn't say it right or whatever.
That's okay. Um, I hope, like, basically my opinions now. I can't really think too much on the past. Which it does bother me. Like, I was honestly dreading this episode because it's something that I constantly think about. At least for the gameplay, like, I truly believe this was like throwing in Tommy and Annalise last time. I didn't, none of that bothered me. Like, it happened. That was the best move for us because it kept us there long term and we weren't stirring the pot. This time around, winning this challenge to me was a big deal. Like, and not being able to make the moves that I wanted to make definitely bothered me because truly, like I said, and when we get to the end, whenever, all I wanted was to see new champs. All I wanted was to see the people who I truly believe were giving it their all. Because even if some of the vets are saying like, "Oh, we threw challenges," what makes you? So why are you there? Why are you throwing challenges? Like, aren't we there to compete? Aren't we there to give it our all? And if you're not giving it your all, what makes you think that you deserve to go to a final? That's my opinion. So for me, it was like I just all I wanted to see is a bunch of rookies or a bunch of people who haven't won make it to the end. Um, and genuinely, like you know what I mean? Like Jordan and Anissa, love them on a personal level, absolutely love them. Bananas and Nani as well, love them. I literally no hard feelings. But when you've already been in this game for as long as you have been, and you've already had all the opportunities that you've had, like in my eyes, it's like, all right, like now it's time for new people to take over. It's time for new people to shine. And so for me, that bothered me. But hopefully, hopefully I get another chance to come in to that game and play the game again, and hopefully individually, so I don't have to worry about anyone else, and don't have to think about what anyone else is gonna think, or what their opinions are, what their alliances are. Like, I just want the opportunity to go back a second time and shake shit up on my own terms.
I love it how you say it's time for some new blood. Let's go. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we love the vets and we love the classics and all that kind of things, but even back then, it was always some newbie coming in and like, yeah, you're that. Hey, what's going on, Shannon Mama? I see your hand is up.
No, I 100% agree with you, Nerys. I'm ready to see some new winners as well, especially Johnny's won 17 times. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's enough. You don't need to win anymore. But I just want to say, I agree with Kamisha. I don't want you to feel bad or feel like, I should have pushed harder because given the position that you were in, like you were the rookie, your partner is the vet, this other vet is playing on his emotions and stuff like that. I'm not going to take a risk to go in myself. So I'm just going to be like, okay, because anything can happen in the elimination. So I'm going to be like, all right, fine. I'm going to have to, compromise on this one, but hopefully I get the next one. But I wanted to ask you, during those conversations, when Nelson said that to you, did you say, like, she's manipulating you? She's playing on your emotions. Don't do this. Is that part of what you said to him?
Are you talking about Nani specifically? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
so, okay. Yes, I did. Because I also I she was going through her own things as well. I know that this season was really hard for her. And I know I, like I said, I know that what she had her own friendship with Nelson, but at that point, I mean, for lack of better terms, it's like I didn't necessarily care. Like I wanted to make my own moves, and I also believed, in my opinion, that the moves that if he would have listened to me, it would have helped us out in the long run. Instead of throwing in someone who was our number, because at the time Amber and Chauncey were our alliance. Like, me and Amber had specifically talked, and we shook hands. She was my alliance. So when he threw her in, and when we're in deliberation, and he tells her, "You're not in my top four," what they don't show is me saying, "What?" And she was hurt by that. And even I had a whole conversation with him when they walked out the room, and I said, "Why would you say that to her? Because she's definitely in our top four." He's like, "She's not in mine." I said, "Well, this is not just your game. She's definitely in our top four." So it was kind of confusing to me too, to kind of be there and kind of hear that too, because I truly, in my opinion, Amber and Chauncey were aligned with us. Amber was close to Nelson, and Chauncey was close to me. So that's how that, it worked out that way. So when he said that, I was kind of just taken aback. I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, kind of confused. Yeah.
That top four comment, yeah, that was crazy because when he said it, I was like, wait, Nelson. Okay, this is the thing. I get it that Nelson had a lot of connections in the house. I do get it. He has a lot of history. He really does. But when he spoke to Amber in a separate conversation, it was just the vibe. It was giving, you're in my top whatever. I don't know what number. But if your name is called, I got you. That's the vibe I got after Nelson and her had that conversation. From there, when you jump to them sitting across, y'all sitting across from each other, and then with the whole top four comment, I'm just like, when he's like, "You're not my," I was just, and she's, revealed you're in mine, and then you say you're not mine. I was just like, damn, what did I miss? So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was, like I said, I was a little shocked. And I honestly felt for Amber too, because, like I said, at that point, yeah, me and her hadn't built a friendship, but I knew that we were aligned regardless, if that makes sense. Like, I became really close to Chauncey, me, because we shared a room. Like, they don't show. I wish they showed more of like the behind the scenes, or I wouldn't even say behind the scenes, just like clips of like different shit. Because my bedroom, it was me, Jordan, Jay, and Chauncey, and we called ourselves the Cardinals because our room was red. And we, every single night, we would, when it was time to go to sleep, we would all have like these talks. We would do rap battles, and it was this whole thing. So we became super close, us four. Um, so yeah, that's why I was kind of taken aback, because, like I said, I wasn't trying to say Chauncey's name either, or even Darrell's. At that point, yeah, Jordan was my friend, but at that point, I knew that the bigger picture is that he, like I've said, he is superhuman. He is fucking amazing at everything he does. Do I want to compete against him in a final? Definitely. I mean, if he's my partner, for sure. But if he's against me, definitely the fuck not. Like, and Bananas has won 7 times, so he knows how this game is played. So I was like, yeah, them two gotta go. Like, I get Darrell is obviously a beast too, but at that point, I was closer to Darrell than all of them. So I was like, yeah, between I in a perfect world, it would have been Johnny and Nani against Anissa and Jordan, and one of them would have been going home. Like, and in my opinion, because I believe that's how everybody thought it was gonna be. I mean, I think Nani and Bananas would have gone home, because Anissa is a fucking beast at puzzles. They would have made it up and down, because, like I said, the equalizer was the puzzle. And I think Anissa would have figured that out really fast, and they would have won. So, like, I don't know. In the perfect world, that everything would have played out perfectly if we would have just said Nani and Bananas would have gone home.
Speaking of the puzzle at the end of the show, I saw online they was talking about TJ because he was yelling for Veronica. He was cheering super hard. A lot of people were cheering super hard for her to win, and it was like they wanted her to stay over. He wanted her to stay over Amber, and I was like, well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say that there's a history that Veronica had with TJ over Amber. I mean, she's been doing this for a long time, so TJ. So when I saw him cheering for her, I didn't see it as that. Um,
No, I think it was because Veronica was having a bit of harder time, that not naturally. And I don't like, I don't think you guys realize, like, we actually all really loved each other. Like, it's crazy to see some of the drama that happens, because the drama would happen and we would all just come back to the fireplace in our house and like all kumbaya. Like, everyone got along so well. And it was more so trying to uplift her, not picking sides. It was definitely just trying to, encourage her to not give up, because I'm sure she felt defeated at some points. And it was just because, like she said, it wasn't built for her. She was shorter, she was thicker. And so it was more so just trying to encourage her, like, girl, you got this, keep trying. And it was never anything against Amber. And we also, they don't show that, but we also were cheering on Amber and Chauncey. We were cheering them both on. And we were there. That elimination lasted over 2.5 hours.
Wow, and it looks so hard.
Yes,
Before
it
the point,
was. And
oh my god,
so, and it was
hard.
freezing too. So that was one of the cold, that was at that point the coldest night that we've had there. It was I think it was like 20 degrees that night. They had no jackets. We were freezing and we had layers and layers of clothes on. So all of us up there in the stands were just, rooting for everybody, because one, we just wanted it to be over, and two, we felt so bad for them. There were so many points where they would just stop because they were so cold, and like, we just felt so bad for all four of the people that were up there.
Wow. See, that's the thing. We don't know what you guys go through in these situations. The temperature, the clothing, the activity. Because to me, that whole challenge to me, I just was like, oh, it looks so tiring for everybody. Not and then
Yeah.
like you said, yeah, she was short, and of course she got that little something something. And that Darrell was so chill. Even though did they were doing a running one, he was just running with her, and I was just like, man, because Darrell's another one that he's a winner, and I want to see him do his thing. But for Veronica back in the day, her even though she was small, she packed the punch. So
Hmm.
I don't know when you kind of tie in, it ties in when you say it's time for that new, to come in and see some new winners, some new champs, because you know what, shoot, this time. I'm not saying about my age or anything, but it's just time for some new. I'll just say that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm maybe biased because I'm a rookie, but yeah, like, I guess I've been a fan of this show. Aside from now being a castmate on there, I was always a fan. And every time, like, it was something where us rookies, we would all talk about it, even from like the first week when Johnny was there and Raven was there. Like, we would all talk about, like, even when me and Raven were arguing, I would tell her, like, hey, you got to understand the bigger picture. We are not here to be arguing with each other. We are here to get these motherfuckers out. We're here to make a mark in our own game. We can't be the same rookies that they always bring, where they come in here and then they played scared games. We just gotta stick together. And it was something that we always talked about. We have to stick together. Like, fuck everything else. Fuck the drama. Let's stick together, because if we stick together, we can really take the shit over. So it was, that's kind of all I really wanted. I just wanted the rookies to make it far. Like, I wanted us to finally be the first season where the fans get to see, all right, the rookies are putting their foot down. They're not letting the vets, run this shit. So that was, I guess that's why I still disappointed in that decision that we made, because that was always like one of my number one thing going in that house. I didn't want to be like all the other rookies that, kind of get played by the vets. So, yeah.
um, I know I'm about gonna say here, Sheena, please let it be your final, and then if you have so much to say, Kim or Chicken, I'm sorry I'm not gonna add the queen because y'all, I have been cooking and drinking. I'm full on both, so I'm about to go rest. Uh, so go ahead, Sheena. What's going on, mom?
Well, I've talked a lot. So if Queen is requesting, if I don't speak, can Queen come up and ask her question?
That's fine.
Okay. I